Hi, my name is Madge Madigan, and I'm going to tell you about my loss. My loss happened in two parts. It started 2001. I first got divorced from my husband of 10 years. We had 3 children together that were about 6.5, 3.5, and 18 months. And so he left, and I forged ahead with that. But then 8 years later, he disappeared. He got progressively worse with his alcoholism and mental illness problems, and he eventually disappeared. He stopped talking to me, stopped answering, of course, stopped taking kids on his visits first, then stopped answering phone calls, emails, then stopped paying. Apparently he had lost his job, so they weren't sending any money anymore, and we didn't know where he was for about 3 years. No one knew where he was. Honestly, I didn't know if he was dead or alive, so it was as if my children's father had died, but without having any monetary death benefits, Social Security, whatnot. So we had to cope with all that, and it was quite traumatic on me, having to deal with the kids. Devastating loss. They were just devastated, and I had lost half my income. Now I was taking care of the kids 24/7. I ended up in the hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack, but I ended up having a panic attack. It was just a panic attack, which all of this craziness, I was, forced to quit my job, politely asked to leave, if you will, and I was just at rock bottom. But all I could do was forge ahead. So some of the first steps I did for reentry were just forged ahead. I just plugged along like, well, I've got to do what I've got to do because I'm all the kids have. I kept trying to get help along the way. I went to DSS and got some help, but then I kept going to networking events like I had done in the past in my career. And I finally met a gentleman who was a life coach who offered to help me gratis because he knew my situation, which was a tremendous help. And he kind of sat me down and said, look, you need to calm down and take inventory, and you need to look for a job that is suitable for you, that's going to pay the bills and allow you to take care of the children, because I was just applying for anything willy-nilly, trying to, get back and get things working again. Looking back, one of the things that I would have done differently, that did eventually work. Once he told me to calm down, that's probably what I would have done much sooner, is calm down and also grieve. I did no grieving of any sort, so I didn't let myself grieve. I didn't have time. I had no family around to help to take the kids. I had to work. There was just no time, but I would have somehow made the time to grieve. It's like you're thrown into a pond and said just swim and survive and get to the other side. I should have taken some time to float and figure out what I was doing. And that's the advice I would give to anyone going through a loss, is to grieve. Take the time, calm down, collect yourself, grieve. Whenever you feel like grieving, grieve. But if you're having trouble that you can't stop grieving, I would seek professional help. As far as not grieving, I once read a book that said pain and sorrow are inevitable, and all we can do is learn to accept that and cope. So you can't stop life from happening, you just have to learn how to deal with it. So I wish you acceptance, peace, and happiness.